It's Tuesday, the 5th of June 2018, and this is your EV News Daily. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening around the world. A very warm welcome from London in the UK. Here is today's news about electric cars and the future of transport. My name is Martyn Lee, and I go through every EV article online, so you don't have to. Coming up on today's show, Texas brings back the rebates for EVs, and Tesla's Gigafactory 1 expands. But first of all, the Jaguar I-PACE reviews are in, and we go through the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, I love it when an embargo is lifted because all of the reviews for the same car tend to hit the internet at exactly the same time. Clearly, the press office of Jaguar have said to all of the reviewers who were invited out to have a look and drive of the I-PACE, you can only publish your article after this time on this date. So they all chose to do it at the same time. Apart from, I must add, actually, I've not seen anything from the Fully Charged team. I'm sure they're pretty busy putting on Fully Charged live this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. But I like how sometimes they'll just wait for that flurry of reviews to kind of go by with the typical car magazines and then release something, a video that sees it through a slightly different lens, so hopefully we'll see theirs very soon. However, with the Jaguar I-PACE, I've picked out some of the best lines and quotes, but do check out the Electrek article, and Electrek compiled the 20 best videos online to watch. That's how many seem to hit the internet at the same time. Now, those early reviewers were all shipped out to Portugal, where I gather there were a few more interview offers going out over the next few weeks, so we'll see more coming in, by the way, maybe for some more websites and things like that. The reviews were done in all conditions, on-road, off-road, on the track, and even in 20 inches of water. Well, a quick stat check reminder, the Jaguar I-PACE starts at $69,500, has an EPA range of 240 miles, a WLTP range of 298 miles. 0 to 60 coming in around 4.7 seconds on these reviews, and 0 to 100 in 11 seconds. Well, one thing every review has in common, they all compare it to a Tesla. And I think that's for several reasons. Well, firstly, it genuinely is a competitor at that kind of price. It has a big battery and is relatively expensive, so it sits in kind of the same market. Also, it's an electric car, so these days all electric cars get compared to all other electric cars, like the Renault Zoe or the Nissan LEAF gets compared to a Tesla, just because it has a battery. However, these two I do see as pretty different. Teslas, where their Silicon Valley heritage, their high-tech background as a badge of honour, whereas Jaguar Land Rover, although yes, they're very high-tech, they wear their history of off-roading ability as a badge of honour. So I see the I-PACE and the Model X sitting quite happily together in the same marketplace and not necessarily cannibalising each other as much as some of these articles say is going to happen. I don't think it's either or. I think that some people will naturally, they'll want the badge of a Jaguar to take to the golf club with the idea that one day they're going to be green laning or off-roading. Of course, they never will. They never do. However, I think they'll buy the 4x4 Jaguar by thinking, I'll need the off-road ability one time. And all I'll do is the school run in it, or maybe some commutes. However, the Tesla buyers I see as slightly different market. There is definitely some crossover though. Well, let's look at the reviews. An Autocar rave about the interior build quality being better than Tesla. Well, I would have to agree. Not that I've seen the I-PACE, I would have to agree that at times Tesla as a new company, yes, they have been learning how to build a high quality car, much like other companies have had 100 years practice. The handling is praised by Autocar. The inclusion of buttons rather than simply one large touchscreen, and also, well, yep, the off-roading ability as I predicted. They said this: we've tried the car in ridiculous places through a riverbed because it can wade through 500 millimeters, which is just under 20 inches, up a steep gravel hill where the electric four-wheel drive system shows huge potential, and even on a race circuit. Well, the buttons and the knobs were also loved by the Top Gear review, which is a great review, and it did make a little comment about range anxiety and constantly worrying about where I'm next going to fill up. But, you know, when you have 240 miles of gas in a tank, are you worrying about the next petrol station? No, didn't think so. Oh, and there's even more knob love from Pocket Lint. They say this: having everything touchscreen might sound more futuristic, but it's not always the best approach when eyes on the road driving should come first. Tesla, BMW, Audi et al. Should be very worried indeed, because Jaguar has pulled off the coup of the year with the I-PACE. Right now, this is the EV we would choose to buy before any other, say Pocket Lint. Well, Caradvice say it did 4 hot laps on a track and showed absolutely no signs of power degradation. And finally, Auto Express say that Jaguar has succeeded in not only creating the best electric car on sale, but perhaps one of the most exciting cars you can buy, full stop. From the way it looks to the way it drives, the I-PACE is a real game changer for Jaguar and EVs overall. The ride could be softer, the brakes could be more responsive, but at a first attempt, an EV Jaguar has nailed it, say Auto Express. Still thinking of ordering a Tesla? Question mark. There you go. I told you they all compared it to Tesla. Well, deliveries begin this month in June here in Europe. The US will be Q3 sometime. Jaguar will ship them to China in September or October. Well, they've been away for 3 years, but now they are back. We are talking about the Texas rebates being back on the table for electric cars. They apply to plug-in hybrids, full BEVs, and fuel cell cars. Well, good luck with that one. As far as I know, there are none on sale in Texas, plus some niche CNG and LPG cars. Well, Dallas News broke the story with plug-in cars getting a $2,500 purchase rebate, applicable whether you walk into the showroom with cash or just looking to sign a lease on an EV. If you're interested, well, the rebate scheme starts on the 1st of September and it ends shortly after, just after the new year, May 31st. So you've got a pretty short window to make your mind up and claim your rebate. It'll even end when the funding runs out, whichever's sooner. Now, the last time Texas ran this scheme, they handed out EV rebates on 1,896 vehicles. And there's even more good news for Texan EV owners. You are flush with EV chargers because the state has been pretty forward-thinking, actually, with EVs, which maybe the reputation of Texas comes first, but they've been on the case with zero-emission vehicles for a while. There's now 997 public EV charging stations to pick from. Well, moving on to Tesla, and aerial photographs obtained by Teslarati have revealed that Tesla's expansive new parking lot in Gigafactory 1 is practically complete, according to Simon Alvarez, who's been studying the latest images that he received 5 days ago on the 1st of June. He notices Tesla is done overlaying its new lot with asphalt, and numerous electric posts now stand in the area. Tesla started moving land north of Gigafactory 1 not long ago, actually, only in March, as noted by avid members of the Tesla Motors subreddit community. And then the new parking lot appears to be complete now. Around 2,000 by 1,500 feet. That's 600 metres by 470 metres. Check out the pictures on Teslarati for the scale of the parking lot when you look at it next to Gigafactory 1. Well, on to some storage news for your EVs, and Varta Storage, the German-owned Varta Storage, looks like it's going to enter the UK market with a smart energy storage system, the Varta Pulse, according to Solar Magazine. They say the domestic energy system is going to be unveiled in the UK for the first time tomorrow, on the 6th of June. It's going to be available in two powers, or two storage options, I should say, 3.3 kilowatt hours and 6.5 kilowatt hours, and designed to be really simple, plug and play. They say the Varta Pulse can be installed in as little as 30 minutes, provided the relevant services are available. They say setting it apart from competitor products. Highly flexible, and connectivity means it can integrate into smart homes as well. And I see lots of installers probably wanting to get on the case and doing some accredited install courses and things like that. If it really is 30 minutes and it's not too expensive, that could be a popular product. Well, Nissan sent us a press release yesterday, and they are celebrating the 100,000th delivery of the LEAF here in Europe this month in June, in a move they say is hailed as a victory for electric mobility. Now, globally, over 320,000 Nissan Leafs have now been sold. Last I heard it was 300, so some of those new models adding to that number. It's the most sold EV in the world, with more than 37,000 of the new one being ordered in Europe. One new Leaf is sold every 10 minutes in Europe. I love that. It's like the international standard of measuring electric car sales. How many every 10 minutes? No, if you're measuring volume, it's how many Olympic swimming pools. If you're measuring height, it's how many Eiffel Towers. Length is always how many red double-decker buses can you line up. And if you're selling electric cars, how many every 10 minutes? Well, with a Leaf, it's one every 10 minutes. European Nissan Leaf customers have now driven 2 billion kilometres and saved 300,000 tonnes of CO2. And the new Nissan Leaf, in fact, all Nissan Leafs, boast 92% customer satisfaction rate. That's the highest of any car that Nissan sell. Well, 3 more stories, and we'll move to China next. We're going to go to China and India, and then finally America. Chinese automaker Protean Electrek has just closed a $40 million equity investment in its Series E funding round, led by the Shenzhen-listed Waifu High Technology Group. That's a report according to Deal Street Asia. Now, it was founded 10 years ago, and Protean, I think that's how you say it, Electrek, has operations here in the UK, in Shanghai, and the US. Has a manufacturing plant in Tianjin in China, and they make and design and manufacture the Protean drive. It's a fully integrated in-wheel drive solution, which is becoming increasingly popular, and it plays a major role in hybrids and the EV market, and could well do more so in the future. That's one to watch. Moving to India, and Tata Motors has announced the appointment of a new head of their EV business. His name is Shailesh Chandra, and the head of Tata Motors, the CEO and MD, who is Gunter Buchek, said this, and I quote, "Tata Motors is optimistic about the future of EVs and would play a leading role in the electric mobility evolution of the country. We'll leverage the capabilities of Tata Group companies to develop the full ecosystem and fast-track the adoption of e-mobility," end quote. And if you don't know about Tata Group and Tata Motors, have a look into it. They're huge, huge! And when they start saying that they're going to start leveraging the whole company, yeah, pay attention. And finally, Reuters spotted that a former Tesla exec has turned up at another energy company, this time Enphase. The solar inverter maker, Enphase Energy, on Monday, yesterday, named the former Tesla exec Eric Branderiz as its new CFO. Well, Enphase are most famous for their microinverters, describing themselves as a worldwide leader of microinverters, the AC home battery storage maker, and smart solar monitoring technologies, and now integrated AC modules into panels by the top PV manufacturers. Well, Enphase recently launched their IQ7 series. They just keep iterating and making their microinverters better and better and better. And if you're interested in solar and PV, you might be interested to know that they say with the IQ7 series, they have their 320-watt high-power microinverter, which is purely built for 96-cell modules and the highest power microinverters they've made, and a really nice solution in some places. Like, we've got a very shady roof, or we've got some trees in one part of the garden, we've got the chimney stack which shades the roof as the sun goes down, and if we're thinking of having solar put on the roof here, if we did that and we had a traditional system with an inverter, then as soon as one panel loses power, your whole system starts to get compromised. Actually, with my solution here, and we have got an east and a west facing roof. It's not ideal, I know, I'd love to be south facing, but with all the various challenges, we are seriously considering microinverters as one way of getting around that and having a high power system, depending on whether 1 or 2 panels are always in the shade. Well, thank you for listening today. Hope you enjoyed it. Some good news today, actually. Really positive, optimistic EV stories. And if you want to help me spread the word about electric cars, please do share the podcast either on your socials or with somebody who might be interested. Of course, all the previous ones, if you're interested, are on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher. We put them on YouTube, even though it's only audio, and also SoundCloud, the blog at evnewsdaily.com. And if you subscribe, well, then you get them first and free and automatically. If you want to leave me a little review, I mean, it just makes such a big difference with the kind of algorithms and the charts they put in. They look at the reviews, and it would really help. I know it's a faff. I know you've not got time, but if you do have time, a review would really help. And if you want to say hi on the socials, just search for EV News Daily and it'll all show up. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you tomorrow.